Recording in progress. Indah kalam karena ditatang, terdengar santun dalam ucapan. Pengiring salam pembuka kata, adat berpantun kami sampaikan.
Pinggan belah disangka para, pecah terpukul sendok cendana. Dengan bismillah awal acara, pengiring salam pembuka kata. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua.
Good morning, best wishes for us.
Selamat datang kami sampaikan kepada Bapak Ibu hadirin undangan sekalian dalam acara The Opening of ICSEDTI ICEE Joint Conference.
The honorable speakers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to extend a warm welcome and express our gratitude for participating in the opening of ICSEDTI ICEE Joint Conference.
Yang terhormat Wakil Rektor 1 Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, Bapak Dr. Tengku Said Razai, SPIMP.
The Honorable, the First Vice Rector of Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, Dr. Tengku Said Razai, SPIMP.
Yang kami hormati Ketua Forte, Profesor Insinyur Hadi Suyono, STMT, PSD, IPU, ASEAN Eng.
The Honorable, the Chairman of Forte, Profesor Insinyur Hadi Suyono, STMT, PhD, IPU, ASEAN Engineering. Yang
terhormat Ketua FDTI, Profesor Selo, STMT, MSc, PSD.
The Honorable, the Chairman of FDTI, Profesor Selo, STMT, MSc, PhD.
Yang terhormat Rektor Universitas Siliwangi, Dr. Insinyur Nundang Busairi, MT, IPU.
The Honorable Director of Siliwangi University, Dr. Insinyur Nundang Busairi, MT, IPU.
Yang terhormat Bapak Ibu Dekan di lingkungan Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji.
The Honorable the Dean of Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji.
Yang terhormat Bapak Ibu Dekan anggota FDTI.
The Honorable the Dean of FDTI members.
Yang terhormat para pembicara konferensi internasional, Profesor Goib Wiranto, Profesor Yvonne Kermarek, Profesor Ian Gibson, Dr. Ing Ilham Akbar Habibi, MBA.
The Honorable, the keynote speakers in international conference, Profesor Goib Wiranto, Profesor Yvonne Kermarek, Profesor Ian Gibson, Dr. Ing Ilham Akbar Habibi, MBA.
Yang terhormat Bapak Ibu, peserta Munas Forte ke-16 beserta undangan yang berbahagia.
The Honorable and the distinguished guests and all the participants in the 16 Munas Forte.
Bapak Ibu hadirin undangan yang kami hormati, sebagai wujud cinta terhadap tanah air, mari bersama kita menyanyikan lagu kebangsaan Indonesia Raya. Hadirin dimohon berdiri.
The Honorable distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, to honor our country, let us all rise for singing of Indonesian national anthem, Indonesia Raya.
Indonesia
Hadirin disilakan duduk kembali.
Thank you. Please be seated.
Bapak Ibu hadirin undangan yang berbahagia, menjemput keberkahan untuk acara pada hari ini, mari bersama kita memanjatkan doa kepada Tuhan yang Maha Kuasa. Memimpin doa, kami menjemput kepada Bapak Zalmidian, disilahkan.
The honorable, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin this event, let us pray together. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always mercy and blessings us today and in the future. Prayer will be led by Mr. Zalmidian.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hadirin yang terhormat, untuk sejenak marilah kita berdoa. Doa saya pandu secara Islam, yang non-muslim silahkan menyesuaikan. Astaghfirullahaladzim, astaghfirullahaladzim, astaghfirullahaladzim alladzi la ilaha illa wal hayyul qayyum wa atubu ilaih. Na'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi rasulillahi ajmain. Ya arhamar rahimin, ya arhamar rahimin, ya arhamar rahimin, irhamna. Allahumma rabbana ighfir lana dhunubana wa liwalidayna warhamhuma kama rabbayana shighara wa li jami'il muslimina wal muslimat wal mu'minina wal mu'minat al ahya'i minhum wal amwat innaka sami'un qaribun mujibud da'wat wa ya qadiyal hajat. Allahumma ya Allah ya syahid yang maha menyaksikan, pada hari ini Rabu tanggal 12 Oktober 2022 kami berkumpul di tempat ini dalam rangka acara the opening of ICSEDTI ICCI Joint Conference. Untuk itu ya Allah, kami mohon berkahi acara ini, berikan kelancaran acara ini dari awal sampai akhir, dan jadikan acara ini menjadi acara yang bermanfaat bagi kami. Allahumma ya Allah, Rabbana zalamna anfusana wa ilam taghfir lana wa tarhamna lanakunanna minal khasirin. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inna kunna minaz zalimin. Allahumma arinal haqqa haqqa warzuqna tiba'ah wa arinal batila batila warzuqna jitinabah. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin nabil ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barik wa sallim. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih disampaikan kepada Bapak Zalmidian.
Thank you for Mr. Zalmidian.
Hijau menguning padi di sawah, tunduk berisi bagai nak rebah, pendirian kukuh tidak goyah, menghadap cabaran tidak gelabah. Bapak Ibu hadirin undangan yang berbahagia, bersama kita simak sambutan Ketua ICSEDTI ICEE kepada Bapak Denny Nusirwan ST MSc, disilahkan.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we move to the next agenda. It is a welcoming speech by the Chair of the ICSEDTI ICEE, Mr. Denny Nusirwan ST MSc.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. With regard the principal of the universities, the principal of the faculties, the principal of study programs, the principal of the local governments, and all departments. Welcome to Tanjung Pinang City. Welcome to the Faculty of Engineering Umrah. Not forget, and also very important, let me forward my appreciation and warm regard to my teams, colleges, and informatic, electrical, naval architect, engineering students who have worked incredibly hard to prepare this event. There are also forward to external parties, local government, private sectors, and the management of the Forte, and all participants. We hope that after the implementation of this event, we'll be able to increase the trust to the Faculty of Engineering Umrah under the leadership of Sabta Nugraha and his staff. The preparation have been started since last year, have been fruitful with the attendance of all participants today. Besides attending the Munas Forte, the participant will also attend the ICSEDTI and the Forte ICCE. Thank you very much for your attendance and have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih disampaikan kepada Bapak Denny Nusirwan, STMSC.
Thank you for Mr. Denny Nusirwan, STMSC.
Duduk jebat bersila panggung, satria pembela paling terulung, karam di laut jadi pelampung, lumpuh di darat jadi pendukung. Bapak Ibu hadirin undangan yang berbahagia, bersama kita simak sambutan Ketua ICEE kepada Bapak Dr. Wahyudi Hasbi. Disilahkan.
Ladies and gentlemen, next agenda is a welcoming speech by the Chairman of ICEE, Dr. Wahyudi Hasbi. Dr. Wahyudi Hasbi, please.
Distinguished guests, colleagues, researchers, professionals, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning, doctors and athletics. In this occasion, please allow me to greet the Excellencies Vice Rector Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, the Dean of Faculties of the Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, Chairman of Forte, Professor Dr. Hadi Suyono, Chairman of FII, Professor Porcelo, the Chair of Joint Conference ICSEDTI, Forte ICEE, Mirwan MSc, the Honorable Speaker, Professor Dr. Boy Wiranto, Professor Dion Marek, Professor Sian Gibson, and Ilham Habibi, all distinguished speakers, committee, all participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor and pleasure for me to be able to thank you all and give a few words to represent the IEEE section at the opening of this conference. On behalf of the IEEE section, I would like to express my sincere gratitude and welcome you to the Joint International Conference, the first international conference on sustainable engineering development and technological innovation, and second for the International Conference on Electrical Engineering organized by Universitas Maritim Ali Haji. Forte ICEE 2022 is held as part of Forum Pendidikan Tinggi Teknik Elektro Indonesia as an event series, and the event aims to provide a discussion platform for researchers and practitioners to share and describe their recent ideas, findings, and experience all aspects of intelligent and applied technology, as well as to describe emerging research topic and future direction in electric engineering field to obtain sustainable development. Distinguished guests, colleagues, researchers, professionals, ladies and gentlemen, engineering, especially electrical engineering, has helped solve our daily problems and our production needs by applying scientific knowledge, technical methods, design, and management principles. Indeed, engineering with its range of sub-disciplines has been a prime contributor to the survival of humankind on Earth and improving our quality of life. We are aware that digital technologies are capable to induce digital disruption and thus have far-reaching effects on the business environment of incumbent organizations in order to remain prosperous. It is crucial to foresee, detect, the trajectories of the technological changes, assess related threats and opportunities, and strategize accordingly. Appropriate methods must be utilized to build knowledge foundation for driving effective digital transformation strategies. The COVID-19 pandemic has accelerated the call for urgent action to deliver on the SDGs, while affirming the relevance of engineering for sustainable development, especially in Indonesia. To achieve the SDGs, engineering itself needs to undergo transformative development worldwide to address the multifaceted challenges facing humanity. So I believe that the theme of this conference is very important in highlighting the innovation to accelerate the shift to digital and fundamentally shape up the living landscape. Distinguished guests, keynote speaker, ladies and gentlemen, IEEE Indonesia is a regional organization of IEEE was founded in 1988, and over the past 34 years, IEEE Indonesia has contributed significantly to have various activities to encourage science and technology for humanity in Indonesia. Together with all volunteers, members, and stakeholders, we have produced various activities by supporting more than 70 high-quality conferences every year, including this conference. Compared with the previous year in 2021, the conference supported by IEEE Indonesia is increased by 50%. And as we all know, the high qualified conference paper within the scope of IEEE are submitted and published in the IEEE Expert Digital Library, which is indexed by Scopus, Web of Science, and any other major databases, with more than 6 million publications and more than 15 million downloads every month. As we all know, also IEEE developed industrial standards such as IEEE 802 as a standard Wi-Fi that we use in our daily life. We also hold more than 40 professional, technical, and administrative activities every year for our members. And currently we have more than 2,900 commission members and more than 80 senior members consisting of professional, industry, academia, and government researchers. We are also supporting 26 technical society chapters and joint chapters, 34 university student branches, and also another IEEE student branch chapters. All these chapters and the branches of the students is a forum for members to have various international, technical, and collaboration and social activities, and provide our Indonesian students a great experience. Just for your information, at the end of this month, there will be an IEEE Extreme, a very famous 24-hour programming competition challenge, which will give the students global competitiveness clear for them. So I would like to encourage our students to join with this competition. In addition to that, we also have 3 non-technical affinity and interest group, which is IEEE Young Professional in Engineering and IEEE Site on the Health and Telemedicine interest group. In 2021, we already established a cooperation agreement with the Directorate General of Higher Education, Research and Technology, in which IEEE activities support and synchronize the Indonesian Ministry of Education, Culture, Research and Technology program, including taking part in Campus Merdeka and Merdeka Belajar Independent Campus with the Learn. This historical collaboration shall strengthen the development of Indonesian higher education, especially to meet the 8 leading indicators of higher education in Indonesia. We are also exploring cooperation with the Indonesian industry in various activities and are actively involved in preparing related governance and regulation. Just last month ago, we already signed an MOU with Indonesia Telecommunication and Digital Research Institute, which is also known as Telkom Corporate University, in learning, research, and innovation, collaboration, communication, and empowerment and education to develop Indonesia's technology leadership, innovation capability, and digital talents. Last week ago, we are also celebrating the IEEE Day with Dirjen Prof. Nizam that celebrating the first time in 1884, all the engineers all around the world, especially in the United States, gathered together and forming the IEEE. Ladies and gentlemen, in this occasion, I would like to express my gratitude to all the committees of this conference who have worked very hard in preparing this high qualified IEEE conference. I'm aware that putting together a conference of this size is not an easy task. Therefore, I sincerely hope for your preparation and participation in all of this conference program. I also hear that there will be us here, and I would like to express and also congratulations for the bonus later on. And I hope all of you will have an enjoyable and valuable experience during this conference. event. And please share your best knowledge in your area of research and professional activities. Please stay active, stay healthy. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih disampaikan kepada Bapak Dr. Wahyudi Hasbi.
Thank you, Mr. Wahyudi Hasbi.
Sarang penyengat di atas kota, kait-kait di batang temu, hendaklah ingat santun berkata, baik bertandang kepada ilmu. Bapak Ibu hadirin undangan yang berbahagia, bersama kita simak sambutan Ketua Forte kepada Bapak Profesor Insinyur Hadi Suyono, STMP, PSD, IPU, ASEAN Eng, disilahkan.
Ladies and gentlemen, next agenda is a welcoming speech by the Chairman of Forte, Professor Insinyur Hadi Suyono, STMT, PhD, IPU, ASEAN Engineering.
Hello, test. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on behalf of Forte, Forum Pendidikan Tinggi Teknik Elektro Indonesia, please allow me to express our warmest welcome to all audience and the participant of the joint conference Forte ICEE 2022 and ICSEDTI 2022. The Forte ICEE 2022 conference is the second international conference organized by Forte, the Forum of Indonesia Higher Education Institutions and in electrical engineering and its related fields. Every 2 years. It is held concurrently with the general meeting of Forte to appoint the chair and to elect a deputy chair for the next 2 years. The meeting will also appoint the host of the next year national meeting of Forte. Umrah was the winner of host candidate selection during the 2021 National Forte National Meeting of Forte in Bandung. And that's why we are all here in Tanjung Pinang right now. The second Forte ICEE is organized jointly with the first ICSEDTI 2022 of Faculty of Engineering Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, Indonesia. Therefore, please let me convey our great appreciation to the Rector of Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji Indonesia, Profesor Dr. Insinyur Agung Dharma Sakti, SPIDA, Dean of Faculty of Engineering Umrah, Insinyur Sapta Nugraha, ST MN, and Head of Electrical Engineering Department Umrah, Tony Suhendra, the Joint Conference Chair for the ICEE and ICSEDTI 2022, Mr. Denny Nusirwan, and Chair of IEEE Indonesia Section, Dr. Wahyudi Hasbi, for making possible and the organizations of this joint conference. I also would like to express our sincere thanks to all our honorable speakers, Professor Selo, PhD, Chairman of FDTI, Forum Dekan Teknik Indonesia, and also Dr. Ing Ilham Akbar Habibi, MBA, CEO and Director Iltabi Rekatama, and Professor Yuan Kemarik, IMT Atlantic and Univers de British Occidental France, and Professor Ian Gibson, University of Twente, the Netherlands, for their availability to share their expertise and experience with all of us in this conference. Once again, I would like to congratulate Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji for the success of this conference organization. I greatly appreciate the whole team who has been involved in this event. Finally, I wish all participants successful and fruitful conference, and please always keep healthy and happy. May God Almighty guide us all in carrying out our respective role and realizing our contribution in the society. Thank you very much for your kind attention, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih kami sampaikan kepada Bapak Profesor Insinyur Hadi Suyono, ST, MT, PSD, IPU, ASEAN Eng.
Thank you, Professor Mr. Hadi Suyono, ST, MT, PhD, IPU, ASEAN Eng.
Belah buluh ditaruhkan tembu, batang cempedak, batang pedada, memimpin bijak, syarat berilmu, tindak berimbang, berlapang dada. Bapak Ibu hadirin undangan yang berbahagia, bersama kita simak sambutan Dekan Fakultas Teknik Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji kepada Bapak Insinyur Sabta Nugraha STMN. Disilahkan.
Ladies and gentlemen, next agenda is a welcoming speech by the Dean of Engineering Faculty of Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, Insinyur Sabta Nugraha STMN.
Inilah pantun pencipta bahasa, warisan Melayu kita punya. Dengan bismillah kami bermula, ucapan salam pembuka bicara. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Petang hari pergi ke Mantang, mengayuh sampan sampai ke seberang. Selamat datang di Tanjung Pinang, di kota Gurindam nan cemerlang. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful, may peace, mercy, and blessing of Allah be upon you. First of all, allow me to express my deepest appreciation to Rector of Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, represented Vice Rector for Academic, Student Affairs, and Cooperation, Dr. Tengku Said Razai, Chairman of FDTI, Prof. Selo, Chairman of Forte, Prof. Hadi Suyono, the Dean in the Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, the Dean of the Member of FDTI, Chair of Joint Conference Denny Nusirwan, Chair of IEEE Indonesia Section Dr. Wahyudi Hasbi. I also honorable welcome our keynote and invited speaker, Prof. Selo, Dr. Ing Ilham Akbar Habibi, Prof. Ivong Kamarek, Prof. Ian Gibson, and then Prof. Goib Iranto. And then to all participants for ICSEDTI 2022 and Forte ICEE 2022. Dear college, professor, lecturer, researcher, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, I would like to express my sincere gratitude welcoming you to the joint conference, first International Conference on Sustainable Engineering Development and Technological Innovation, ICSEDTI 2022, and Forte ICEE 2022. The Engineering Faculty of Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji welcome all the guests to Riau Islands, one of the provinces of Indonesia that geographically resemble Indonesia. Riau Island province consists of around 2,000 islands scattered across vast ocean that cover about 98% of its area. With such characteristics, challenges such of the provision logistic, telecommunication, and energy are inherent. The Faculty of Engineering Umrah are there to answer the challenges through the engineering development and technological innovation that are not only effective or efficient, but also sustainable. We look forward to integrate the island through Internet of Telecommunication, advanced logistics system that utilize IoT, artificial intelligence, and the big data, which is supported by the supply of sustainable energy harnessed from the sun, wind, and ocean wave. In addition to that, with the advantage of being the proximity neighboring countries such as Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, and Brunei, we are confident that regional collaboration in technological advance that will be beneficial to mankind and environment can be accomplished. It's my hope that this 3-day hybrid international conference will achieve the objective providing an effective forum for academicians, researchers, and practical and advancing knowledge, research, and technology. I wish you a very productive conference with exciting and encouraging discussion that will promote exchange of knowledge so that together we can anticipate future groundbreaking knowledge, research, and technology for the benefit of humanity. My hope to make this event successful and enjoyable bond. Bekalan tempe untuk disantap, berkelah kita di malam hari. Mohon maaf salah dan hilap. Sampai berjumpa di lain hari. My very best regard. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih disampaikan kepada Bapak Insinyur Sabta Nugraha, STMN.
Thank you, Mr. Sabta Nugraha, STMN.
Kapal anjiman dari Cina singgah bermuat papan jati, amal dan iman teguh sempurna, pemimpin amanah berteguh hati. Bapak Ibu hadirin undangan yang berbahagia, bersama kita simak sambutan Rektor Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji disampaikan oleh Wakil Rektor 1 Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji dan dimohon berkenan untuk dapat membuka acara dengan resmi kepada Bapak Dr. Tengku Said Razai, SPIMP. Disilahkan.
Ladies and gentlemen, next agenda is welcoming speech by the first Vice Rector and also for the opening this event today, Dr. Tengku Said Razai, SPI, MP.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Kalau yang lainnya pakai bahasa Inggris, Pak, saya pakai bahasa Indonesia aja. Menasionalisasikan dan menginternasionalisasikan bahasa Indonesia. Karena baru-baru ini kita juga ada conference, salah satunya adalah menjadikan bahasa Melayu, yaitu bahasa Indonesia kita menjadi bahasa internasional. Alhamdulillahirrabbilalamin, hamdan wa syukranillah. Bersyukur kita kepada Allah Subhanahu wa taala karena pada pagi hari ini kita bisa melanjutkan acara kita dengan International Conference. Mudah-mudahan acara kita ini berjalan dengan lancar sesuai dengan harapan kita bersama. Yang terhormat Ketua Forum Teknik Elektro, Bapak Ketua Forum Dekan Teknik, kemudian beserta para dekan yang hadir pada hari ini, kemudian narasumber kita baik yang di dalam maupun di luar negeri, kemudian para pimpinan dari Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji, kemudian para peserta International Conference yang berbahagia. MC-nya banyak kali pantunnya, Pak. Jadi saya pun nak buat pantun juga nih. Jadi dari tadi malam saya mau tidur aja udah susah nih mikirkan pantun nih. Menjala ikan di tanah merah dari pagi sampai ke malam. Selamat datang di kampus Umrah Negeri Melayu Satu Gurindam. Ini adalah International Conference yang keempat dilaksanakan di Umrah untuk tahun 2022. Jadi ada rentetannya yang memang dimulai lebih kurang bulan Juni kemarin ya Pak Sabta ya. Jadi Umrah ini adalah salah satu perguruan tinggi baru di Indonesia, berdiri tahun 2007, kemudian menjadi perguruan tinggi negeri tahun 2011. Jadi moto utama pendirian umrah itu adalah untuk mencerdaskan masyarakat Kepri, bagaimana mampu berkompetitif sebagai garda terdepannya Indonesia. Kita berharap keberadaan umrah sebenarnya bagaimana mencetak adik-adik kita, mahasiswa-mahasiswa kita itu menjadi anak-anak yang mampu berkompetitif, khususnya minimal di negara ASEAN. Karena sebagaimana disampaikan Pak Dekan tadi, kita berhadapan dengan negara Malaysia, Singapura, Thailand dan sebagainya yang secara langsung akan berkompetitif, terutama untuk perdagangan-perdagangan internasional di kawasan perbatasan. Beranjak dari itu, kita sebenarnya berharap bahwa konferensi ini bukan hanya sekedar menyampaikan ilmuwan hasil riset yang kita miliki, tapi kita berharap duduk bersama kita ini nanti akan menghasilkan kolaborasi riset ke depannya. Karena riset yang dihasilkan oleh satu perguruan tinggi akan cenderung monoton. Jadi kita juga berharap ada kolaborasi riset. Mungkin bisa ditajah dulu dengan kita yang hari ini tergabung di dalam forum ini, yang hadir pada hari ini. Dan kita berharap juga nanti riset ini akan ada riset kolaborasi dengan negara-negara tetangga, sehingga nanti kita mampu berkompetitif menghasilkan satu terobosan-terobosan baru yang memiliki manfaat secara global. Apalagi sekarang kalau seandainya kita lihat aturan baru tentang akreditasi, itu sebenarnya riset adalah salah satu yang menjadi tonggak utama terkait dengan peningkatan SDM. Jadi kalau seandainya kita lihat dulu aturan baru, akreditasi program studi, akreditasi institusi, berbeda dengan hari ini. Kalau kita lihat hari ini aturannya memang mengharuskan sebuah perguruan tinggi itu menghasilkan riset-riset kolaborasi. Tujuannya adalah agar terjadinya percepatan peningkatan kualitas SDM di Indonesia. Nah, jadi kita berharap bahwa simposium international conference seperti ini terus berjalan, nanti menghasilkan riset-riset kolaborasi yang tidak hanya berasal dari institusi kita masing-masing. Pada kesempatan ini apresiasi yang setinggi-tingginya kami sampaikan kepada Dekan Fakultas Teknik, kemudian Forum Forte yang sudah menajah kegiatan ini menjadi sebuah kegiatan rutin ya Pak ya. Mudah-mudahan ini terus berjalan ke depan, kemudian hasil-hasil dari hasil riset ini nanti bisa diterapkan. Bisa menjadi diterapkan, kemudian ada moto keberlanjutannya ke depan. Itu harapan kita bersama. Mungkin itu saja secara singkat saya sampaikan. Pulau Bintan, Pulau Bestari, negerinya indah, kata seniman. Selamat datang di kampus kami, semoga seminar dilaksana mampu menjadi pedoman. Anak Pak Ahmad memasang lukah dipasang menangkap ikan, supaya seminar kita memperoleh berkah. Dengan bismillah kita resmikan. Dengan mengucapkan bismillahirrahmanirrahim, International Conference yang ditajah oleh Fakultas Teknik Universitas Maritim Raja Ali Haji dan Forum Teknik Elektro Indonesia tahun 2022 secara resmi saya nyatakan dibuka. Saya akhiri, billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Kami mohon kepada Bapak Wakil Rektor 1 Umrah untuk tetap berada di tempat. Kami menjemput kepada Bapak Ibu datang VIP untuk dapat berfoto bersama. Disilakan Bapak Ibu untuk dapat mengabadikan momen pada hari ini. Kami menjemput untuk dapat berfoto bersama. Dan juga kami menjemput kepada seluruh peserta untuk dapat mengambil tempat berfoto bersama. Bapak Ibu, seluruh peserta yang hadir pada hari ini, disilakan dapat berfoto bersama. Bersiap Bapak Ibu. Baik, silakan Bapak Ibu kami menjemput untuk dapat berfoto bersama. Bapak Ibu silakan dapat mengambil tempat. Boleh Bapak Ibu mengambil tempat pada bagian depan. Silakan Bapak Ibu sekalian. Ya, kami menjemput Bapak Ibu seluruhnya yang hadir pada pagi hari ini untuk dapat berfoto bersama. Silakan. Sebagian di atas juga boleh Bapak Ibu sekalian kami menjemput. Kita bagi dua, ada yang berada di atas panggung dan juga di bawah panggung. Bapak Ibu sekalian, mengingat peserta yang hadir pada kegiatan ICSEDTI ICEE Joint Conference pada hari ini cukup ramai. Kembali kami sampaikan selamat datang di kota Tanjung Pinang, Provinsi Kepulauan Riau kepada Bapak Ibu sekalian seluruh peserta. Disilakan Bapak Ibu. Baik, disilakan. Masih tersedia tempat? Silakan rekan-rekan media dan juga fotografer untuk dapat mengabadikan momen ini. Bapak Ibu. Baik. Silakan Bapak Ibu sekalian. Baik. Semua bisa bersiap? Ya, kita atur dulu. Bapak Ibu yang di atas mungkin boleh sedikit miring supaya teman-teman bisa menyisip sehingga muat lebih banyak. Bapak Ibu sekalian, mungkin bapak-bapak yang di belakang kalau tidak terlihat yang di belakang boleh sedikit cincin Bapak ya, karena ini semuanya tinggi-tinggi hari ini ternyata. Baik, silakan. Ya, boleh. Baik, silakan. Ya, boleh. Gimana teman-teman? Fotografer terlihat? Oke, masih ada space kosong kursi. Bapak Ibu sekalian boleh ditempatin di bagian. Mungkin Bapak Ibu yang berada di sebelah. Oke, silakan di sebelah. Ada 2 kursi kosong di sebelah. Waduh, oke, baik. Silakan. Ada 2 kursi kosong. Baik. Ya, satu lagi boleh duduk ya. Yang di belakang, Bapak Ibu mungkin boleh, yang di belakang bapak-bapak ya, boleh jinjit mungkin, biar terlihat Bapak. Iya, lumayan terlihat. Oke. Oke. Baik, kita bersiap foto, rekan-rekan fotografer bersiap. Semua fokus lihat ke depan Bapak Ibu. Saya hitung, 1, 2, 3. Baik, mungkin untuk sementara maskernya boleh dibuka dulu biar terlihat Bapak Ibu sekalian. Biar dikenal nanti ya. Baik, bersiap? Kita hitung 1, 2, 3. Oke, baik, berikutnya salam maritim Bapak Ibu sekalian. Oke, salam maritim ya. Oke, senyumnya jangan lupa. Kita hitung kembali, siap. 1, 2, 3. Yang di atas tangannya boleh diangkat lebih tinggi, siap. Kita hitung 1, 2, 3. Berikutnya sinergi bersama Bapak Ibu sekalian. Tangannya di kepala, oke, siap. Semangat bersama, oke. Saya hitung 1, 2, 3. Sekali lagi, 1, 2, 3. Baik, terima kasih Bapak Ibu sekalian. Tepuk tangan untuk kita semua yang hadir pada hari ini. Terima kasih. Disilakan Bapak Ibu untuk dapat kembali ke tempat. Terima kasih. Disilakan kembali ke tempat Bapak Ibu sekalian. Terima kasih kembali kami sampaikan untuk Bapak Ibu undangan yang hadir bersama pada kegiatan ICSEDTI ICEE Joint Conference pada hari ini. Setelah sesi foto bersama Bapak Ibu dan Bapak Ibu hadirin sekalian, dengan demikian usai sudah rangkaian pembukaan ICSEDTI ICEE Joint Conference pada hari ini, dan Bapak Ibu, acara berikutnya akan kita lanjutkan dengan sesi seminar yang akan langsung kita gelar pada hari ini. Dan sesi seminar pada hari ini akan langsung dipimpin oleh moderator kita, Bapak Firman Apriansa, SSI MT.
The honorable distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep on to the next agenda seminar. The seminar will be led by a moderator. Kindly invited Mr. Firman Apriansyah as SIMT.
Bapak Ibu sekalian, kita berikan tepuk tangan yang meriah untuk moderator kita pada hari ini.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me to lead this discussion today, and I would like to greet our distinguished guests and honorable guests, all of the participants of this discussion. Today, we are very grateful to have a lineup of experts that will be giving lectures, giving their insights to us with their own expertise. And it's really a rare occasion where we can gather and at the end of their speech, you can ask a question, get a warm discussion about the theme that they are giving about. Okay, for the first presenter, for the first keynote speaker, I would like to invite Professor Selo to the stage. Please welcome, Professor. Ladies and gentlemen, applause for Professor Selo. Good morning, Professor. Perhaps I would like to introduce Professor Selo a little bit. We will go through his CV very quickly. Okay, Professor Selo was born in Sleman on the 1st March of 1972. He is the professor of electrical engineering from the Universitas Gadjah Mada, and the education of Professor Selo, he took the sarjana, the Bachelor of Electrical Engineering in the Faculty of Engineering Gadjah Mada, and his master from the Electrical Engineering as well from the University of Gadjah Mada, and his second Master of Science in Information and Communication from the University of Agder, Norwegia, and his doctor, PhD, from the University of Agder as well in the Information Technology and Communication. Okay, without further ado, I would like to please let Dr. Selo begin his speech.
Okay, good morning everyone, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to thanks to Pak Sapta and also all the organizing committee for inviting me to deliver a short talk about technology. And today I would like to present about connected car. Yes. Specifically, I will focusing on applications, networks, and also future development of connected car. Next. Now we are in a connected world. Everything is going to be connected. Not only our mobile phone, not only our computer, but everything is going to be connected. Our car, our electronic devices, home appliances, and also environment will be connected. Using mobile phones, I can track my son, where is he now, where is him now. I also be connected to my phones. It means that people are also connected to the internet. My wife can track me, can monitor me where I'm now. In the future, it's just billions of devices will be connected and communicates with each other to do specific purpose for our for human activities. Today, I will focusing on car, connected car. A connected car is a car that can communicate with other systems, which is specifically outside the car. This connected car, together with other common vehicular technology, are going to be well known. In terms of automatic driving, electrical cars, and also unmanned vehicle, UAV, and also autonomous connected car, many other terms that are connected to this connected car term. Next. The connected car, as you can see in the figure, provides any number of connecting technologies, including the telematics systems, GPS-based navigation services, and also Bluetooth connected mobile devices. Usually, these Bluetooth devices we bring inside the car, for example, our phone, maybe media player, our other devices that which has capability to connect using Bluetooth technology. And as your information is that now recently 1 of 5 car will collect and transmit data outside the car. It means that now, as I mentioned before, that everything, car, electronic devices, is going to be connected to the internet. Next. There is a consortium called Intelligent Transportation Systems, which has vision and target in regard with the connected car. The vision of ICS world is that they want a road infrastructure supporting or even fully controlling the coexistence of conventional and automated vehicles, in this case cars, with enhanced traffic flow efficiency, safety, and user appreciations. They have targeted to achieve increasing traffic efficiency by at least 40%, increase safety by at least 50%, and also user appreciations by at least 70%. Many features of connected car be provided. The first is connectivity, internet connectivity in cars. A connected car is, of course, always be connected to the internet in a stable connections. Recently, maybe we experienced that not all places have internet connections. Maybe some blank spots. There are many only in maybe in urban or in a city. We have good connection internet connections. Connected car also provide onboard Wi-Fi connectivity, where the driver or passenger can download multimedia, movie, music, and then playing in the car. The second feature of connected car is applications to car connectivity. Nowadays, many auto car manufacturer provide a dedicated smartphone applications that connects the vehicle to wireless networks. The applications allow us to remotely operate a car. Wuling, for example, they provide applications where we can use our mobile phones to stop the car, and also maybe to activate the door locking and unlocking, to activate the lamp, and so on. The third feature, protecting young driver. The car is coming with the geofencing systems, where we can monitor the movement of the car by using the information from GPS. We can set a boundary area where the car is allowed to moving. Outside the area, then we will have an alert, a warning from the car, inform us that the car is going to outside of the boundary. Ini kelihatannya back dulu, minta tolong di backkan sih. Mas, minta tolong back lagi. Ya ini. Oke, yang ini tadi. Pakai slide show. Oke, back satu lagi. Back mundur. Ya, oke. Banyak banget, maju lagi. Satu lagi. Okay. Yeah, the other feature of connected car, of course, communications between car, vehicle to vehicle communications. This is the applications that are very strong feature. Using this V2V connectivity, then we can develop applications based on machine-to-machine applications. We can imagine when in a peloton movement of cars consists of several cars in a carnival, for example, when suddenly car in the front experience some things, for example, because of obstacles, then the car should or must rim then the car will inform another car about the situations. So this will work on machine to machine level. Entertainment, of course, this is one of the applications or feature of connected car. Since we have many possibilities of connections, then we can have more possibilities to have files from one car to another car. Parking is another feature. Security, of course, we want to have secure application when we use car, connected car, I mean. Other features, for example, advanced navigation systems. Today we are quite often, normal using navigation systems when we are driving. Using more connections, more informations transmitted from outside the car into the car, then we can have more information, making better navigation systems. Not only the route we inform, but also other information around us. For example, information about the traffic, information about the surrounding environments, what happened, what is the interest point around us, and so on. Advanced safety to reduce the chance of an accident. This is what I mentioned, that V2V communications, V2V connections provide us more information and also working on the machine-to-machine communications. Security features to trap the vehicles, as I mentioned also, geofencing is one of the features that will be grow in the future. Remote access, various function of vehicles, and also for the payment in the road pricings, and some of multi-lane free flow. Bentar, ini saya fungsi backnya nggak tahu, coba back lagi, mundur ke atas, lagi satu lagi, ya. Bentar, lagi mundur lagi. Okay, if we look at the estimations or predictions about the connected car penetrations in the next 5 years, the number is increasing. By maybe in you can look at that the number of connected car drivers in millions increasing. Then if you look at the number of participants worldwide, China is the biggest one. In 2025, they achieved 35%. Indonesia is earlier. If you look at share by company, PV, Volkswagen, Toyota is the second, about 11%. Okay, impact of connected car, accident reductions, travel times reductions, and also related with the climate change, CO2 emissions reductions. Other research area that maybe you are interested on connectivity in the privacy and security, of course, related with the application development. This is the example of applications of connected car. What we call is e-care. These are applications where the car, they can sense using their sensor, of course. If abnormality happens, then just send them the data to the service center, and then the software in the service center will analyze it, where is the problem, and so on. Networks, there are many types of connectivity. As I mentioned, car to people, car to car, car to infrastructure, car to everything. Regarding with the communications, then we can have a requirement of connectivity inside the car and also outside the car. There are two technologies that are projected to be implemented in car communications. First is 5G connections, and then the RC connections. The two have benefits, drawbacks. You can see that the RRC is the coverage is less than the coverage of 5G. This is specific topic of connections between cars. What we call is an ad hoc network system, vehicular ad hoc network, or VANET. VANET the research area in VANET, including communication technology, routing protocol, clustering, and also security. There are many communication technologies for VANET, from long range, medium range, and also short range, cellular, and also the RRC. As I mentioned, the two potential technology that you can use to develop communications between cars. There are many also routing protocols. Maybe one minute. You can see clustering. If we talk about ad hoc, then we need to think about the area of connectivity. Then we need to think about the clustering. Security, one of research area. Okay, future development. There are many things that we can develop, from devices that are real, smart watch, connected to devices in the car to monitor our health, driver health, and also other things that not only monitor about the driver, but also monitor about the environment of outside the car. Okay, thank you very much. I'm sorry for the very quick because of the times. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Professor Selo. Okay, we will move to the question and answer session. I would like to open we only have one question available for now, so please, the first question is the one will be answered by Professor Selo. Please, ladies and gentlemen. Any question? Okay, while we're waiting, perhaps I would like to sum it up. By connecting cars, we can open possibilities of improving our life quality and prosperity of mankind. Okay, is there any question? Okay, please, Mr.
Oke. Saya izin buka masker. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. My name is Mezano Ardi Muhammad from University of Lampung. Yeah, this is a very interesting topic. Thank you very much, Prof. Selo, for giving us a presentation. There are a few questions that I would like to ask. First is, if we have a connected car, what is the failover system, the contingency plan that we have when they are disconnected from the network? And second, when do you think the future, the connected car will be common in Indonesia, especially? And we can hope that we can, and how we can achieve that. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much. I would like to sum the question a little bit. The first one is about the risk of failure, and the second one is how soon is it going to be common in the Indonesia? Please, Prof.
Connected car that I'm talking about is a generic connected car. It is not, maybe not specifically talking about unnamed or autonomous, but it's just usual car with very rich connectivity, providing stable internet connections. So if we talk about risk, then maybe it's not relevant. When we will achieve this technology, based on data, the number of connected car that are shipped to the entire world. There are many car already. It's just some, or maybe are moving. We are growing to what we call a really connected car. Thank you very much for the questions.
Okay, thank you. Round of applause for Professor Selo. And ladies and gentlemen, I think this is the end of our first keynote speaker session. And I would like to request Insinyur Sapta Nugraha as the Dean of Faculty of Engineering to give a token of participation from the Umrah Faculty of Engineering. Please welcome Insinyur Sapta Nugraha. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Professor Selo from the University of Gajah Mada. Thank you, Professor Salo, for the presentation. And I would like to invite the second keynote speaker for this session. That is Professor Goib Wiranto. So, Professor, you can go to the stage. And ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for Professor Goib Wiranto. I will introduce Professor Goib a little bit. Professor Goib Wiranto is from the National Research and Innovation Agency, or as we know as BRIN, Badan Riset dan Inovasi Nasional. And for the education, Professor Goib Wiranto studied BSEE in Electrical Engineering in Michigan Technological University, and he got his PhD in Electronic System at the University of South Australia. Without further ado, you may please begin your presentation.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The Honorable Chairman of Forte, Bapak Profesor Hadi Suyono, the Honorable Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, Mr. Sapta Nugraha, Honorable Speakers, Prof. Selo, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Goib Wiranto. I come from Bandung. I arrived in here on Monday. As was introduced by the moderator, I am from the National Agency for Research and Innovation. I used to be the Indonesian Institute of Sciences, or IPI, but since 2 years ago, it has merged with other institutions like Batan, Lapan, BPPT, and become BRIN. Okay. I myself currently acting as the leader of Smart Sensor group in the Research Center for Telecommunication in Bandung, where Mr. Sapta has visited twice last month. Actually, it was the reason why I'm here, because he invited me personally to give a keynote speech according to our experience. So I was asking him, what am I supposed to talk about for this conference? Okay, well, up to you, Prof. So, today my topic actually will be about our experience is monitoring water quality. Hopefully, my topic should be interesting to all of you, because I know that we all are coming from different backgrounds. So, during the next 20 or 25 minutes, I hope that I will not be boring you with what I will be presenting on the stage. Oh, before I forget, since this is our first time being in Tanjung Pinang, I found that this place is very, very wonderful and interesting. I especially thanks to Pak Sapta for his very excellent hospitality to me. I think if I go back to Bandung on Friday, I think my cholesterol will increase, because every day I eat seafood for lunch and dinner. So once again, I personally thanks to Pak Sapta for the nice hospitality to us. Okay, my topic this morning is about sensor technology for monitoring water quality. The reason we are doing that is because in the past, about 20 years ago, right after I graduated from my PhD degree from Australia, LIPI had Indonesian Institute of Sciences had a big project in East Java in the Brantas River, where they were installing 23 monitoring stations. At that time, it was the first river in Indonesia that has an automatic monitoring system. So my talk today will be about the history of that. Okay, since I'm only here for about 20 or 25 minutes, of course I will talk some introduction about the water pollution so that we all know the current condition of the pollution, especially in big cities in Indonesia. And then I will be talking specifically about the sensor technology and the application of the Internet of Things for the water quality monitoring. And our experiences in monitoring water quality, I will give you some examples on that. And finally, I will summarize my talk and hope that after this conference, we can explore the possibility of doing some research collaboration between BRINS and Umrah and other universities. Okay, next. Okay, next slide. Okay, I think okay. Now, if we talking about water pollution, I think let me start with the definition of water pollution. Simply said, water pollution is actually the contamination of water bodies. Now, when we talk about water bodies, of course, it includes lakes, rivers, ocean, reservoirs, and groundwaters. Usually, the contamination is caused by human activities, although some natural cause such as volcanic eruptions sometimes can cause water pollution as well. But the majority of water pollution in Indonesia is being caused by human activities, whether it is industrial activities or population normal everyday activities by the people, such as garbage disposal and etc. Of course, if we are talking about the sources of water pollution, there are many sources of water pollution. But the most common sources of water pollution, as I mentioned before, is a result of human activities. Number one is, of course, is domestic waste, such as garbage, organic waste, plastics, cans, etc. And number two is the industrial waste, such as liquid and solid chemicals. And sometimes in the area where the population is quite high, animal farming, such as slaughterhouse in Java, has been known to cause some heavy pollutant to the river nearby. And then the use of pesticide in agriculture practice also can cause the water pollution, as well as detergents. And then if we talk about pollution in the ocean, sometimes the use of explosive materials and oil spills has been causing some serious damage to the environment. Now, despite the fact that Indonesia has more than 5,000 rivers, from the information, the latest information that we got, more than 59% of those rivers are still heavily polluted nowadays. So, what we mean by heavily polluted is those rivers are characterized by the low turbidity normally, and then those rivers also have low transparency. So if we look at the rivers that are heavily polluted, sometimes you don't need a monitoring instrument. You can just look at by the color of the river, which is black sometimes in the area, in certain areas. And also rivers like that normally have a very low oxygen content, and then high BOD and COD, as well as low photosynthetic activity. If I have to mention 7 of the most polluted rivers in Indonesia, at the moment the number 1 river, the polluted river in our country is of course Citarum in West Java. followed by Cisadane in Banten province, Bengawan Solo in Central Java, Ciliwung in Jakarta is number 4, and the number 5 is Brantas River in East Java, followed by Kapuas River in Kalimantan, and also nearby here there's Siak River in Riau province in Sumatra. Okay. Now, talking about water quality parameters, I can classify the parameters that we monitor into physical, chemical, and biological parameters. Which of these parameters present in the water is, of course, dependent on the pollutant source. Some rivers are heavily polluted by chemical parameters, while others are heavily polluted by physical or biological parameters. So in monitoring rivers, we use different sensors, different monitoring instruments, depending on the types of the pollutants that are present in those specific rivers. Now, the government, the local government, and the central government actually has set the standard for all parameters when we do the water quality measurement in those rivers. As mentioned by the government regulation number 22, year 20. This is the latest one, the latest regulation number 22, 2021. The government has divided the rivers into 3 classes. The first class, of course, is the highest standard because normally the class 1 is used for the source of drinking water. So as you can see here on the table that the government standard for class 1 river has the highest parameter values such as the suspended solids, the BOD, COD, and also the dissolved oxygen content requirement for this river. Okay, I guess the real question now is why do we need an online water quality monitoring station? Well, I can answer these questions looking at the fact that Indonesia has more than 5,000 main rivers, and most of which are heavily polluted by industrial waste. And in most cases, water pollution is difficult to detect. Sometimes it's undetected at all due to the lack of real-time monitoring instrument. Even if pollution occurs, then it will be too late for the local authorities to act on the pollution because sometimes the pollution occurs very quickly and even during the middle of the night. So manual water quality analysis, in addition to that, right now, manual water quality analysis is still dominating the methods of monitoring the river water condition. And because of that, sometimes the government and industries often dispute on the result because there is no real evidence on the water pollution that is being discharged by those industries. And so sometimes when we install an online monitoring system, we also install an automatic sampling system which automatically takes the sample when pollution occurs. So when we can provide the authority with the real sample when the pollution happens, I think the industry cannot reject anymore on the result. If we talk about the structure of an online monitoring system, of course, today with the advance in the internet technology, we can always use an IoT base, unlike 20 years ago, when communication was still a problem. I remember that my first mobile phone was in the year of 2002. So at the time of the installation of the monitoring system in Brantas River, not too many people were having a mobile phone like today. So mobile signals in a lot of areas in East Java are still very difficult to get. So sometimes we have to build a tower, very high tower, just to obtain a better signal to transmit the data from the remote location to the central office in Malang. Now, if we talk about the structure of an IoT-based online monitoring system, I can come up with several conceptual diagrams, but they are all basically the same. They're in one location, and which is continuously sending the measurement data using a data logger and internet, of course. And on the other sides, several mobile devices can be used to receive and analyze the measurement data. Unlike before, today's mobile phone is very sophisticated. It can receive just about any application with very big data, especially with the 4G technology. Not only data that can be sent through the internet, but also videos and everything without any delay. Okay. Now, what makes an online monitoring system interesting is that they have many advantages if we compare it with the manual measurement. Of course, the first advantage is that an online monitoring system can be installed in a very remote location, even without any power distribution from PLN at all. We can use a solar panel, etc. For example, and with an online monitoring system, a real data and continuous data can be obtained 24 hours a day. And of course, with such an online measurement, more accurate data can be obtained and less human error can be avoided. However, with an online monitoring system, there are also some disadvantages. One main disadvantage of an online monitoring system is sometimes we know that the sensors are very susceptible to vandalism. In one occasion, it occurs when after we install the sensor system today, the following week, the sensor has been stolen by people. We don't know who did that. But things like that often happen, in our country, not only for the water quality monitoring, but also for early warning system. For example, earthquake monitoring early warning system. Sometimes they stole the system without realizing that the importance of the system. And also with the online monitoring system, it needs a routine maintenance to be performed every 2 weeks or something. At the moment when we install our system, the technician that did the routine maintenance was not having enough technical background, so we had to train them, give them the basic knowledge on electronics, so that they are able to perform the routine maintenance every 2 weeks. And the final disadvantage of the online monitoring system is that the sensor probes sometimes are subject to falling because of debris. As we know that in Indonesia, people just throw about anything into the river, not just plastics, cans, but also some, if you are ever traveling to Surabaya city, in the past, some people are throwing a spring bed. It's so amazing that some people are throwing spring bed to the river.
Professor, I'm sorry, but you have 1 minute left.
Okay. Okay, my main point here is actually I want to emphasize on the sensor technology, because the main component of an online monitoring system is the sensor. Although there are many types of sensor that we can use, but the most common type of sensor that can be applied for monitoring, online monitoring of water quality is the electrochemical type, electromagnetic, optical sensor, and acoustic sensor. Some of these have been fabricated in our laboratory, and I want to give you a couple of examples of the sensor shape that we have been able to developed in our laboratory. Okay, this is the pH sensor that we are developing in our lab using a simple technique and simple technology based on screen printing on alumina substrate. We use materials such as silver and silver chloride as a reference electrode and ceramic substrate. And with this technique, we can fabricate a pH sensor, for example, in less than couple of days. So for quick prototyping of sensor with this technology is good. So sometimes we have students as well from other universities to do their final year project fabricating sensors like this. And of course, if we are able to develop the electronic system as well, we can develop this sensor with the wireless communication. Okay, the second sensor that we can develop also in our lab with a similar technology as a dissolved oxygen sensor, where more or less the material are very the same, the substrate is the same, except that some fabrication steps need to be adjusted with the application of a membrane, for example, but still within our capability of fabricating thick film technology sensors. Okay, the next slide, I think I want to show you my experience in the Brantas River water monitoring system. As I mentioned before, that the system was started in 2002 until 2005. It consists of 23 online monitoring water quality stations. In addition to that, there were also 7 rainfall and 7 water level stations, along with 2 laboratories that was built in Malang and Mojokerto, and then 12 industrial flow metering and 3 wastewater treatment. To give you an example of some of the pictorial view of the station that are still operating in Brantas up today, for example, like this. So we build all the system inside a shelter which is about 1 by 2 meters square, where we install all the instrument inside, and we measure parameters such as DO, pH, conductivity, temperature, ammonia, and phosphate. So we also equip with the shelter with the alarm mechanism. So if a threshold has been breached, so for example the DO value is dropped to a certain level, they will send an alarm code to the central station in Malang.
Okay, Professor. I think your time.
Okay, one more slide. Okay,
one more slide.
Okay, basically, what I want to stress in this speech is that, okay, as a summary, I want to say that water pollution in our country is getting worse and worse every time. So with the increase in population and industrialization, so online water quality monitoring need to be implemented more on the Indonesian river, so that data can be collected to reinforce the government regulation. And our research was aimed at looking into possibilities of fabricating low-cost and accurate sensors, and using thick film technology, of course, which is suitable for online monitoring, online water quality monitoring. And hope that after this conference, we can talk about future collaboration with our institute and our laboratory. Thank you very much once again for this occasion. Terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for your presentation, and a round of applause for Professor Goib Duranto. Due to the limitation of time, we have to skip the Q&A session for Professor Rianto to prepare, and we are going to move on to a short break to prepare for the online presenters. Okay, I'll give it back to the MC.
Baik, Bapak Ibu sekalian, kembali boleh berikan tepuk tangan yang meriah Bapak Ibu sekalian untuk moderator dan juga narasumber kita pada hari ini. Dan Bapak Ibu, para peserta seminar yang hadir pada hari ini kami sampaikan, kita akan break dulu kurang lebih 10 menit Bapak Ibu sekalian. Setelah itu nanti akan kita lanjutkan untuk sesi berikutnya. Jadi silakan Bapak Ibu untuk dapat menikmati coffee break yang tersedia. Lebat rumbiah di Sungai Kedah, sayang sendu di tepi muara, panganan mulia terletak sudah, samalah duduk menjamu selera. Disilahkan Bapak Ibu sekalian.
Oh baik, sebelumnya mungkin kami persilakan dulu kepada Pak Insinyur Sapta. We request Insinyur Sapta to present our token of appreciation to Professor Goib Wiranto. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Professor Goib Wiranto. We will proceed after the short break.
kita, Bapak Firman Afriansa, SSIMT.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will continue for the next session. Is the online sessions will be led by Mr. Firman Afriansa.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we will carry on to the online presentation. The first online presenter will be Professor Yvong on the Zoom meeting. Professor Yvong, are you with us?
Yes, yes, I am here.
Professor Yvong,
can you hear me?
yes, we can hear
Okay.
really well. How are you, Professor?
Very nice, thank you. Yep, very nice. I hope that I'm able to manage the share of my slides.
Yes, you can share your slide.
Okay.
Okay, you can make it full screen.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, thank you, Professor. And you can begin now.
Okay, so thank you all. Sorry to be in video conference because I have issue with my transport and my visa, and it was impossible for me to visit once again Umrah and Tanjung Pinang, and reply to the invitation to your kind invitation of Umrah and Dene. So I'm going to make a short presentation about what we do in terms of cybersecurity in the maritime and harbor system. And the title of my talk will be Cybersecurity Awareness. And this short presentation will also be followed by a quick overview of what we have with the French Navy and with the industry from the maritime world. So this is the reality of the boats in terms of complexity of big systems that we have here. It's related to technologies that are both civilians and military, and there is specificities that need to be addressed by the maritime world. The first one is related to the size of the ships and the complexity. You have to imagine that those ones are giants. They are full of the latest technologies, and also they are partially isolated because we know that the communication facilities are not very efficient there. And for example, you can get access with the internet with a satellite link, but then you need a specific bandwidth and limited bandwidth. The other point is related to the duration of these ships, and you have to consider that most of the ships that are being built will be available for the next 30 years, and nobody so far has idea today of how the computer science and the network industry will look like in 25 years. And it means that those systems will be on the sea for a long time, of course, but they have to deal with major improvements and alteration, new technologies, and certainly also new way to attack and to protect the people, or the people and the ships and the harbor. We can consider also that the harbor infrastructure, and I'm not going to say this to the Indonesian people, is a very sensitive infrastructure because it connects people, and it's also a way to transport good, energy, and so on. If we consider that 90% of the international trade is by sea, and when we see what are the consequences of a blockade of the Suez Canal, then you can get an impact on the importance and vitality of commerce over the seas. And this is just to give an overview of the system compared with what we have in different technologies and or trucks or whatever. They are huge, and the value that they carry is enormous. This is an overview of these systems when you are considered the harbor system. So this is a Shanghai harbor, and in fact, this is a view from outside, but you have also to consider that to reach this environment, you have a bridge that is about 40 kilometers, and this bridge is pretty long when you drive on it. So you have also to consider that this logistic issue there for the harbor, you have to combine the ships, but you need also to take into account what's happening on the ground and the trucks and whatever. This is another view of something different. That is just to give some figures about a military boat. So this is by Naval Group, just to give an idea about the complexity of the software that is there and the number of networks that are sitting there. When you consider that there are 350 kilometers of cable, you can imagine that most of the facilities and the components of the ship are connected with different networks, and in fact makes sense. Another critical point in harbor or in ships is related to what we call OT, operational technologies. That is a way to interact with different elements, mechanical elements or whatever, or motors, engine that are available in the boat. For example, it's possible to open door, it's open to activate pumps or whatever. And all these devices can be operated with a human interface, and as depicted here. So this is a new way to access the boat. You have a nice interface. You can press button instead of going down in the boat and opening the door by yourself. You just need to press a button. But the introduction of these new interfaces raises, as you can imagine, new consequences. The other point I wanted to mention is, of course, the introduction of the internet for the boat. And there are very good reasons to have internet for the boat, either for the passengers, the crew, but also for the system itself, so that when the boat arrives, everything is prepared. And if there is something that is wrong, and then the operator can be aware that default need to be taken care of at the next harbor, and maybe there are some replacement or whatever that need to be done. A flow of information can also arrive to get some information about the situation of the boat. And in fact, when you have traffic, it's always interesting to be sure that you are not going to cross roads, that you are safe in your area, and there will be no collision with another boat. And of course, we have human in the loop. So this is the key individual so far in a boat is a captain. And even if we have more and more system where there is unmanned vehicle, that is autonomous vehicle, for the large one so far, it's limited crew, but you have a crew. And the crew is humans like you and me. And most of the time we can make errors and we don't know anything, or we don't know everything, sorry, I should have said. So this is another view of what I'm going to talk about cyber awareness, situational awareness. The point is that you have maritime digitalization that is more and more present. And this is related to new technologies that are available in the public now. So you have global digitalization, transformation. It has impacted enormously what is available around. And we have a huge boat and complex systems that need to be operated with new technology. Therefore, we have new technology inside the boat or inside the harbor. And it makes sense because of these systems, they need to be operated with the help of artificial intelligence or new technologies. There is also in the maritime sector, there is a low, if we can say that, there is a low reaction or awareness to cybersecurity for numerous reasons. The first one is that when a boat is at sea, it feels safe, but this is not the case. So the industry is also slow to move, in the fact, because of this context, and they are on-site the board and also with the company a limited number of people who have the experience of what is about cybersecurity and what are the notion of pirates or whatever. And at the international level, there is a lack of concern and a lack of regulation to consider safe boat and how a boat can be considered to be safe. And then there are some events, like for example the destruction of military ships by normal ships from any company that raise attention to the military, because now it is possible to kill people and also to make a boat unavailable by just pushing another boat on it. The other issue that we can consider is that we have vulnerable ships and the port. That is true. So if you have a look at what's going the recent events in the world about cybersecurity attack, ports and ships are vulnerable. The point is that, for example, in the situation of ports in France, they are even more critical. So we call them critical infrastructure because there is a national interest for them, and we know that if they are not available, then we are going to be in trouble. And if we consider all these points that are related to the fact that people do not know exactly what's going on the boat. So it's the same for us. When you have a car, you don't know exactly what's going on under the hood, and you don't know the specificity of the engine. But here, in the context of the boat, the people will not know exactly what is included. So they don't have any information about what is exact content of the boat. As I said before, there is these boats will be there for the next 20 or 30 years. And of course, you have to consider that there will be major improvements in the software and in the technology. And then you need to upgrade the system. And if you consider the upgrades even on your PC, then you can consider that for such a system it will be worse because you have numerous things to sync. And also you have to consider that the patch management is something that is really very complex, because when you upgrade something, then it may have a consequence on the other side of your equipment. So if you put all this together, then there is a risk of cyber event because you carry valuable goods. You know that you can not destroy, but impact the economy of your country, of your enemy or whatever, whoever. You can get money, and then of course you are vulnerable. And the technology that you use, or that they use on boards, ships and harbor, make it even more difficult to address those. So situation awareness. So situation awareness is just a perception. So this is a definition that I took. Perception of an environment, the understanding of the meaning, and the projection of the state into the near future. So this is something that is rather vague, but also very explicit. So, and I underline the three key elements. The first one is a perception, that is to be able to understand what is happening, to understand also in which environment the boat is or the harbor is, and to understand what are the facility, what are the vulnerabilities of the different parties. The other point is understanding, which is also a key feature. That is, if you have something that goes wrong or that appears to go wrong, then you need to understand what's going on. And for this, you need to be able to put the different elements that you have received or have perceived together to make a context. That is, to be able to anticipate what the system will do in the near future. And this is what we call the projection. That is, if you see that, for example, your tank, there is a red signal on your tank of your car or your boat, then you know that you're going to have a problem, because you will not get any longer energy because your tank will be empty or is empty. And based on this, there is an extension by two other scientists who raised the solution will go towards a solution that is resolution, situation resolution. And based on these three elements, or these four elements, then you can prepare and anticipate a solution for what to do. Another element under awareness is what we have information. What kind of information? And in this system, we have two kinds of information. The first one is what are the information on us? What do we know on us? And very precisely what we can do, and for example, and where we are, what kind of information I can get from my devices, from my IoT devices, from my positioning system, from the GPS, from the IAIS, whoever, and also the knowledge on them, because you know that maybe you are surrounded by just one boat, or maybe an enemy boat, or military boat, and then of course it is important to know what is in the environment and what they can do. If it is if you are threatened by a fisherman, it's not the same as you are threatened by a military boat. Now, this is kind of agent technology that can be used. So the underlying meaning of this figure is to make it possible for the agent, or what we call agent technology, to perceive what is going on, and based on this to react and to take decision. And based on the different flows of information that is on the situation, the environment, then you are going to make more and more elaborate information on the environment, and also the perception and the information on us.
Okay, Professor, you only have 2 more minutes.
Okay. This is something that we can go on. That is, for example, for the different situation awareness, what is impacted, or what we need to know is that based on this, when you have done with the perception, then you need to understand what's going on, to project and to resolve. And for this, if you can go on like this, the next stage is action. That is, of course, to be able to act and to plan a decision. So if this is just a global overview of the system, where you can see the different devices and the different flow of information within the people. If we go further on, to build situational awareness or cyber awareness, you need these kind of figures or these kind of steps. I'm just going to take another one, just a very quick one. For example, this one, P6, is related to the quality assessment. Of course, it is important for you to get the figures, or to get some information about the precision of the information that you have collected, and of course the quality. Because if you have, for example, the GPS position that is of very low quality, then maybe you are going to say, okay, the indication where is my position is weak, and you cannot put quality in the information that is provided by the system. And this is the same for all those. You are going to investigate, for example, the quality, but also the trust that you put on the information that are given by any devices. And based on this, you are going, of course, to act and to share information. This is a key element about the perception, the different stages. But the point is to figure how information can be obtained and acquired, and then communicated to others, to merge information and to transfer information between them, so that you can get another view of what's going on. This is according to me, some information or some challenges in terms of cybersecurity and cybersecurity awareness. Some point about are related, for example, to deal with doubt, partial information. Some of them are related to use of machine learning, because of course you are going to collect a lot of information, and maybe terabytes of information for just a trip, and then you need to exploit and to extract information based on what you have collected. And in fact, you need to build new knowledge based on the information that you have collected. And for these, different technologies and different approaches are there. According to me, the elements that have been there in terms of situation awareness, I'm almost done. The first one is when you are in the maritime industry or harbor, people need to be aware of what are the impact of cybersecurity. And in fact, it is very critical to train the people and to inform them, because most of the time people are not aware of that the system can be pirate, hacked, and then destroyed. It's an individual effort, but it's also a team effort, and it's an effort for everybody, all the stakeholders of the industry. I see that there is a stronger motivation now for this, because we know that what are the consequences. We need also to train the people, and by this, when you train people, they tend to learn how to react and to be able to anticipate and prepare what may to anticipate the situation that they are going to deal with. And for this, and this is also for what I know, as far as I know, what's going on in Indonesia and at Umar University. The point is related to training and education, and we have education at all levels. I also work at the French Naval Academy, and I know that cybersecurity is considered as a serious matter. And for this, there are specific lectures that are now given at the French Naval Academy. Sharing information is also critical. That is, when you are on sea, you may feel alone, but you are not alone. And most of the other companies, most of the actors in this industry will get attacked. And it is very important to share information and expertise, and to build expertise from what's going on. And for this, of course, we need national and international cooperation. I just skipped this because that was related to another stage that I wanted to say. Here in France, where I am, at the National Academy, and with Thales Naval Group and the French Navy, we have a chair, and this chair is oriented towards research. For this, we have a group of PhD students working together, and this is for me a strong element. And this team is working together on specific issues related to cybersecurity, and two of them were working beforehand on cybersecurity awareness. As I said, because based on the information that you collect, then you can determine what to do. It is very important to understand that when you know, or when you have established the situation, you can anticipate things and be ready and make the right decision. And for this, of course, you need to rely on numerous information that are provided by the different devices. And for this, of course, you need to be ready and to prepare. Let me take, if you wanted to have more details on this, one of my PhD students has written a very good dissertation on this, so I have provided the slides to Denny and to Omar, so you can collect those. And of course, there is a specific training that is devoted to postmaster degree in cybersecurity in the context of maritime and harbor system. And also, this is the name of my research group with the French Naval Academy. So I'm done. So thank you for your attention, and sorry not to be there. I hope to see you again very soon. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Professor Yvonne. And ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Professor Yvonne for the presentation. And I would like to open the Q&A session if there is any question. Okay, to sum it up in a nutshell, that the electrification and the connectedness of and digitalization of the maritime industry also give risk to the attack of cybersecurity. And as a way to mitigate such situation is to raise the awareness of the situation and to assess and to act accordingly. Okay, I don't think there is any question for this session, and As a token of your participation, I would like to present you a little bit of award. Please display the video. Okay, a round of applause for Professor Ridwan. I would like to move to our next online presenter, which is Professor Ian Gibson. Professor Ian Gibson, are you with us? Professor Ian Gibson, are you with us? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a while to check on the availability of Professor.
Yes, can you hear me now?